What's good, everybody? So today we're taking a look at this video right here. The truth about models in gacha games, why most fail, but Wuthering Waves thrives. I have to be honest, Wuthering Waves to me has some of the best in-game models that I've seen for a gacha game specifically. They're very pleasant to look at, and also there are a lot of little like details that change within the models depending on what like state they're in, what kind of abilities they're done, and honestly just bring them alive a lot more to me. I'm a big fan of the art style, direction, how they do their models, and their animations too. I'm a big fan. I have no complaints from me so far, so I would love to see what Void Enigma has to say about the models in gacha games where I must fail, but Wuthering Waves thrives. Let's take a look.
The in-game models for gacha games truly defines the experience of the player.
Before we start, Carlotta and Changli become my favorite combo. They've become my favorite duo. And if you want to see me doing my Carlotta Changli quick swap training arc, I'm live every single day on Twitch. Link is in the pinned comment, okay? Come along, say hi. Watch me rescind my Taurus status, okay? On my quick swapping dreams. I'll see you guys there.
This is the model and character that you will be playing with for the foreseeable future, after all. There's nothing like staring into the blue eyes of your favorite character and looking at their assets while they run across the map.
You funny fucker. You funny little man, Void Enigma. You funny little man. You silly little guy. You silly little guy.
The accessories on their model, their hair, the way they move and interact with the environment, the way they run and their asses on full oh shit, I said it again. These are all things that players expect to be peak when they play their gacha games. For most games, such as Arknight's Olympus Company and Brown Dust 2, these in-game models are in the form of miniature versions of the characters. This is generally fine because the main gameplay is refined in this way, but you will still see that juicy PNG when you select your character. And as for Brown Dust 2, you get to see.
Oh my god. Brown Dust 2 animations are actually genuinely crazy. They're actually insane. The animations, the ults, whatever they use is crazy. There was also another game recently that someone linked me where the death animations made it so like the characters would like die but their asses were up in the air or their legs were spread open. It was a wild time. Yeah, that was a wild time. That was a wild one to look at.
See a hell of a lot more. But that aside, there's nothing more disappointing than going from this to this. The downgrade in quality is seriously disheartening. I understand downplaying the model a little, but even Tectone would be terrified of the balding here. But then you have games like Wuthering Waves.
I also think we have to be very aware of how long ago Genshin Impact came out. How long ago Genshin Impact came out, and that was a game that they really had to like optimize for mobile devices. They had to optimize that for mobile devices for a lot of devices, for a lot of different like performances. We have to be honest, they couldn't make Genshin just work on high-end performing devices. They had to also make it work on the sort of mid-range models too. Why? Why? Because they wanted the most people possible to play that game. Genshin was heavily pushed as a mobile game. So they had to make it work for as many phones as possible. And honestly, like even like 5 years ago, right, 4 or 5 years ago, the technology is vastly like exponentially increased in power from then to now. Okay, the difference is insane. Okay, the difference is kind of insane. So they had to simplify it at the time, right? It runs on Unity, I believe, whereas Wuthering Waves runs on Unreal Engine. And as we all know, when wuwa launched, a lot of people had mobile optimization issues when it first came out. A lot of people did. Granted, these days it runs a lot smoother. But yeah, running Unreal Engine 5 on mobile is a task. Let's keep in mind, these are designed to be played on mobile, okay? So I understand Genshin models are whack. A lot of them are kind of like low poly, not as detailed, but there is a reason why they're trying to do that. They want the kids to play the game, and the kids are more likely to play on their phones than like have a console or a gaming PC or anything like that.
Who literally use the exact same in-game model for their cinematic movies and trailers for the character. Gone are the days where you lose 50% of your bone density when you transition from a trailer to a model. We are finally in the golden age of game models. Like, you cannot tell me that this NCP is in this wonderful game. He has more expressions than the entire cast.
True! Oh my god, Starbuck did. That's so true. They gave him more bro, I'm so happy that Kerr actually gives a shit about the character expressions. It's great.
Combined for Hoyoverse. Starbuck, you are truly the MVP of the 2.1 patch, and no one can prove me otherwise. My name is Void.
Hello, my friend. Gregory and I used to watch you a lot, but now we can't because he's in hospital. Can you say hello to him, please? Well, hi, friends. I hope you're okay. Oh my god. I hope you're okay.
Enigma, and I'll be going over just how impactful the in-game models for gacha games are, and how Wuthering Waves transform the direction for these models. Whether it's in trailers, cinematic cutscenes, or just general gameplay, and most importantly, the in-game story quests. We'll be discussing why the betrayal of facial expressions and emotions on these characters is a betrayal of the character themselves, and why certain gacha games are acknowledging that it is indeed boring to sit through 8 hours of dialogue with static interactions between the characters. But before that, I have something special for you today. Have you seen these champions?
Oh my god, Raid Shadow Legends!
Before we talk about the 3D renders of gacha games, let's talk about the representatives of the 2D models of gacha games, such as the aforementioned Arknights, Limbus Company, and Brown Dust 2, or any other game with this specific model. The beauty of these types of models is that it's reminiscent of a certain gameplay that we grew up with. It's an easy way to make a great game without having to have spectacular 3D renders, yet it still requires the effort
I need to play Limbus Company again. I really do need to go back on my Limbus Company arc. I had a lot of fun the first time.
Smooth and feel smooth. You won't find people complaining much about these models. Additionally, you have stories in these games, and they do a very good job of showing the emotion with voice acting and the reactions of the characters and sound effects. It's crazy to think that a game like Limbus Company, a 2D game with static models and mostly static reaction sound effects and Korean dub, has more fun and life in their story than Honkai Star Rail, despite Star Rail having the potential of all of their characters to look alive. They also offer their own take on cinematic cutscenes, which is very unique, and I love seeing them every time. Each game does this in their own way, and it's just like an old school nice feeling to see these cutscenes play out. For the budget of these models, they do a lot. And of course, the actual PNG that we see of the character is immaculate. These characters have some of the finest details in gacha gaming.
It's really important to have not just the PNGs be really high quality, but they have really nice animations, right? They have really nice live 2D animations that are well edited, well animated. Both the artist and the rigger kind of has done a really good job with a lot of these, right? They've done like a pretty good job. So yeah, I don't think anyone could like argue otherwise. Some of these are like crazy, right? Some of these make you feel a certain way. I know you all. I know who you are, okay? I know what kind of things you've looked up. I know you've Googled Brown Dust 2 like animations multiple times. You bunch of gooners, okay? That could never be me. I would never do such a thing. I would never go to such lengths to do that.
Another thing that I want to talk about is the ultimate
Holy boobs! Holy mega milk! Oh my god.
Animation for games like Nikke and Brown Dust 2. Let me just, show.
Holy! Bro, her whole vagina flaps are open. Bro, where do her vagina flaps go? I don't think these women have it in this game. I don't think these women have vagina flaps in this game. They just don't, they just disappear.
Show you. Yeah, that.
Oh my, Miss Mega Milk. Bro, they're staring at me. Bro, look at them. They're just, oh my god. Holy jiggle.
That's 90% of the reason why I play these games here. The attention to detail is what keeps players involved. Not the loot stuff. I mean, everything that I talked about in this.
No, I disagree. I think, let's not kid ourselves. I think a lot of people play those games for the loot stuff. If you're someone who regularly plays Brown Dust 2 or like Snowbreak, you can't tell me that you don't play it for the lewdness. I refuse to believe you. You're only playing for gameplay. I'm sorry. You're lying to yourself. You're coping. You are coping to yourself.
Section of the video. The transformation from art and trailer of these characters to the in-game models is often a very dissatisfying feeling for most gacha games. It takes a lot to bring a 3D model to life, and more often than not, you'd rather just watch the trailer than actually play the in-game characters.
I don't know about that. I think that's kind of subjective. I don't know if I agree with that entirely. I don't know, because at the end of the day, you have your character, you pull them. The models might not be the best, but still, most of the time, they're running around, you're zoomed out quite a lot. You're not even looking at them directly, right? You're not even looking at them directly, because when you go into cutscenes, you switch to the MC anyway, right? So, I understand why you don't need to have all the detail, but it's a shame that it doesn't exist. Which is why I like Wuthering Waves, and they're constantly adding new features to the photo elements, right? You know how you can take not screenshot, like the pictures, and you could also hide the UI, like the immersion mode. I like that they're actually caring about that stuff, because they know how good their models are. They know how good their models are, so they've made it so that, hey, we're incentivizing you to take pretty pictures, to take screenshots. Why? Because it's free marketing. Because then you take cool pictures with your models, and guess what? You share them on social media. More people see them, and they're like, oh, that looks cool. Maybe I'll play this too. It's free marketing. So why wouldn't you want to make good models, give you tools to be able to take really cool screenshots of pictures and all that good stuff, and let you post them online? And they're constantly adding updates like the actual camera feature 2 and immersion mode, which is great for the game. Something that Genshin Impact doesn't really do very often. Why? Because they know their models probably kind of suck balls. Because it kind of sucks balls, low-key. So that's one thing I really like about wuwa, is they're constantly adding to the camera options, which is the best thing you could do. Show off what you're proud of. Show off your pretty environments that you've spent time on. Show off the really cool models that you've made that everybody loves. 100%.
It's evident, of course, in games like Genshin Impact, where the models of these characters fail in comparison to their trailers and their art. Characters like Yae Miko, Itto, Diluc, Albedo are butchered when they're rendered in game. Most people just accept this fact. It's just how the models are supposed to be, right? Well, that's wrong. Even Honkai Star Rail, despite their characters being much more dynamic than Genshin Impact, still have a severe lack of diversity between their casts. Like, female character number 3 looks exactly like female character number 13. One thing I will say is,
Honkai Star Rail does kind of have that problem. It's like, change the clothing, change the hair and eye shape, and that's it. Same thing with the dudes. Like, we saw that a lot with the dudes too.
I don't play ZZZ, but their models in-game look absolutely fantastic.
I think ZZZ is definitely in hot competition for Wuthering Waves for best, like, models. ZZZ, without a doubt, has the absolute best rigging out of all the gachas right now. Like, they do something right. And also, they have a different way of shading their models. They don't go for, like, the typical cel-shaded route that others kind of do. And honestly, it looks really nice. I really like the lighting effects that they use on ZZZ. It makes things look more 3D. And it also gives it its own unique style that separates it from both Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. Like, it really separates it from both of those games. Like, it really feels like a different kind of game entirely.
When I checked out the gameplay, especially when comparing their appearances in the trailers to their in-game models, I can say that I was pretty impressed. I don't know how the actual story looks and if they still display emotion and facial expressions in the story, so
oh yeah, they do.
Let me know down in the comments if that's the case for Zenless. So
yeah, it looks like it's from a different, like, brand entirely. It doesn't look like a Hoyo thing, really. The way that it's shaded differently. The model on ZZZ are just so good, and I hope that they keep that in their future games because it's so good.
0. Nikke also does an excellent job of transitioning their characters into model. I mean,
holy what the okay.
It's Nikke. That's their whole game. I played this game back when Rem and Emilia were introduced, and sadly, Rem's model is...
I just don't know if I'll ever play this game. I love women, but I don't know if I love women enough. I don't know. It's like, oh my God.
Somewhat jarring, along with Emilia not being able to show her cake. Wuthering Waves, however, does something phenomenal. The in-game models don't lose 8 layers of hair when you actually display them in-game. The in-game character doesn't transform into Danjin number 22. The in-game characters look and feel alive. Like, these Wuthering Waves characters are so alive that the women in the game can't contain their accelerated heartbeat. So that—
holy fucking Changli titty wobble. Holy bro, oh my God, fuck, oh my God.
That's why the jiggle physics are so intense in this game. I know, I just solved some major lore for you here, so just let that sink in. Wuthering Waves having abnormal jiggle physics to please the Gooners? Absolutely yes. I mean, not, absolutely not, no. The fact that they use the in-game...
Do you guys remember, before wuwa came out, do you guys remember, I covered this, okay? I covered this. I was like the first person to cover it, right? there was drama in the community because I think it was Baija's like screen before the game came out, you could see her boobies were moving a lot on their own without her even moving, and people got like mad about it. They were like, why are her boobs like not moving on their own? It looks weird. Bro, and it was so funny. Bro, it was so funny. People were complaining so heavily about it. People were oh, it's just a bug. Oh, it looks so bad. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, it was so funny, bro. All right, anyway.
Engine and models for their cutscenes and trailers truly speaks to the definition of their immaculate in-game models. Of course, this is made to look spectacular thanks to the lighting, positioning, and close-ups, and maybe some post-production art, but it just shows how much effort was put into these models in game. Because of this effort, we can rest assured that even in 5 to 10 years from now, the game will still look incredible. And to bring it all together, I can fly in the air and stare at my character's booty. Not because I want to, but because the devs decided—
Does anyone do that? Does anyone fly just so you can see your character's ass? I can't think of anything that I just don't care about more. Am I a fake Guna? Guys, am I a fake Guna? I just don't care.
That needlessly censoring the in-game characters is pointless. You can go ahead and uncensor your support by liking this video and hitting that subscribe button to support the channel and keep these videos coming your way. I don't care where you come from or what
we don't really care
have,
okay,
or your stance on censorship. A censorship in a video game is cringe. These characters are already very safe for work in game. I mean, everyone has a butt, everyone has a chest, so what if some look better than others?
Holy Gouchy
complaining.
Guys, it's me. What if the next time I do an IRL stream, I'm just doing a Tauchi cosplay?
In other games, we have disappearing characters blurring the backs of the characters when they're underwater.
Oh, this shit is so cringe. This is actually horrifically cringe.
And I can't even climb without looking at the backside of the characters without them just disappearing. It's just annoying and frustrating. Not all players are interested in this feature, but for those who are, yeah, they really are. And they should be allowed to view and see their characters as they appear in game. The ridiculous censorship is quite frankly pointless. I'm really happy that Zenless is made for a more mature audience and they aren't subjected to the censorship depicted in Genshin Impact. It would be much better if instead of actually censoring the characters, you have something like what they do in the Nier series. 2B and Kaine. If you want to look up 2B's skirt, she won't let you. She'll turn away and set the boundaries. Hey, don't look up there. If you want to look up Kaine's skirt, you get your ass beat. And if you continue to try, well, she will absolutely freaking kill you. Which is how—
That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I genuinely didn't know that was a thing.
How things should be. A place where the models need the utmost attention is in the in-game story quest, and my god, Honkai Star Rail really screwed this up. 8-hour story quest. Fine, it's a Hoyo game. We're all used to it.
Yeah, what the fuck's the point in working on models when you won't even show them? It's so dumb. Honkai Star Rail is really in the mud, bro. I just not understood the black screen thing. Like, why? You have the resources. You've proven you can do it. Heck, even Genshin has better storytelling than Honkai Star Rail. It's so cringe.
Fine, it's a Hoyo quest. We're used to it. 8 hours of story combined with black screens, plus the characters have zero facial expressions or reactions or even basic movements on screen. Yeah, that's unforgivable. I play Star Rail, and I have a well-established account, but I quit recently because I couldn't get into the 3.0 story quest. The quest was just— my god, boring. I'll eventually get back into it, as I always do, but I could not convince myself to sit through a Hoyo quest with zero effort put in there. Plus, most of it is not even voice acted, especially the likes of Robin. I actually didn't even play the Robin and Sunday quest yet. I'm here to play a game, not listen to a novel. I listen to audiobooks when I'm doing a long car ride.
I thought I was having fun with Honkai Star Rail 3.0. I played it for like 2 hours, and then I got bored, I left, and I'll be honest, I haven't gone back since. I genuinely haven't been back to play Honkai Star Rail since then. There's nothing to motivate me. The gameplay doesn't motivate me to come back. The story isn't. Even the characters aren't motivating me. It's honestly quite sad. I just don't feel motivated to play the game anymore, and I feel really sad about that.
When I'm doing tasks like cleaning, tasks that require zero input from me. However, these games have a strenuous process of, hey, are you there? Choose nonsense option 1 or nonsense option 2 to make sure that you're actually there. Sometimes, these choices are actually just a normal response that you just read together anyways.
True.
If I gotta be present anyways to experience a story, then you better make sure that that story is a damn good experience. What's more bothersome is that in these stories, there is just minimal effort. In these story quests, you know exactly what reaction the character will have to certain situations. It's just a stock standard. Paimon says something that's supposed to be interpreted as funny, Traveler will put their hand on their head, and so on and so forth. Stock female number 22 is confused, she will have the exact same reaction. Stock male number 17, wait, they don't introduce that many men. Stock male number 6 is thinking, well, we know exactly what animation will play out. This works for a game that you play for 1 to 2 months. Eventually though, with the sheer amount of story content and unskippable dialogue, most of which isn't even voiced, like come on. Eventually, you gotta create new things, right? In Wuthering Waves, you have
Everything just becomes so predictable, and that's it. Because things are so predictable, you lose that spark of creativity. Use that spark of like, ooh, what makes it engaging? That's it. You need to keep your players engaged. And it feels like, oh, the players are already going to play our story quests and then they're just going to do their silly little dailies. We don't need to make the story really good because that's not the real like retention like drawer for our games. And it's just the wrong way to look at it. Because the story mode, people have to be invested in your story. Why would they come back otherwise? If the story is really bad, you better make sure your gameplay is really fucking good. You better make sure your gameplay loop is hella fun. And it's just not the case with Genshin.
have Phoebe, who will bonk the goat star buff for being an absolute Chad. And we see the full animation. We have Carlotta, who is caught by Rover, and we see the full animation.
Oh, this was so
the models
cool.
feel full of life. Speaking
This
of
was so
models
cool.
and Carlotta, let's talk about the most outrageous things that these devs failed to implement in their games. No changes to the system of models. It's insane to think that Genshin has 2 male models and 3 female models. That's it. The stock standard of exactly this.
That's not true. That's not true. Riesli is a new model. And I believe Nouvellette uses it too. Or there's like another male model. No. I think this is wrong. You have the Shao one. You have the small male model. You have the Tartaglia looking one. You have the Alhaitham one. The Riesli one. Those are the ones that you have. And the E2 one. There are multiple models. They are starting to branch out. Especially now. They're releasing a new character who's like thicker. Like a new female model. They're starting to learn. It's new variants. No, it's new models. Let's not be disingenuous. So I think it's a bit wrong to say there are only 2 male models. There are more, but it doesn't mean they're good. It doesn't mean they're good by any means. It's kind of too little too late, to be honest. They should have done this ages ago.
Same characters and interactions between these characters. Wuthering literally added a new model with Lumi, and to my surprise, Carlotta was the same model. I figured this out because when I attempted to do a backflip, she did not in fact do a backflip. She instead did the lolly hop back. I then examined just how many in-game models do we have. We have 4 female models, tall, medium, small, and lolly, and then for the men we have 2 models. Now you may be thinking, how do we have 2 male models? Well, you may not have noticed, but Shenliao and Jian are actually 2 different sizes. I was surprised to find this out, as they look overall the same, right?
Really?
But this model is fundamentally different.
Clearly this guy is not gay enough. As someone who is a male connoisseur, I know the difference between my men. Clearly this man is not gay enough and he has to up his male appreciation time. You must stare at Gion's wabs and titties for 20 minutes a day until you can notice the difference between all the males simultaneously.
Crazy to think that Shenliao is the same model idea as someone like Xiao from Genshin Impact. I do hope that they add more diversity to the models because we know that they aren't scared to add new models. Additionally, they don't have a macro for each of the models for their in-game scenes. Instead, the characters tend to have unique movements every time. Sure, there are still a few standouts that they're actually being reused, but Kuro games aren't scared to actually think outside the box and create different movements to depict their actions. It's more than just that though. The characters aren't static. They feel alive, and they don't do the whole
black screen.
Anymore.
I think we had a black screen like twice in the whole of Wuwa. I know we've had some, but they're not frequent at all.
I would love if they really went.
My husband! I can't wait to pull for you, my love. Oh my god, my favorite pirate boy. My favorite pirate boy. I cannot wait to pull for you, my sweet, sweet Brant. My sweet, sweet Brant.
Went out of their way and added a bulky male model or a unique character model for special characters. That would really make them stand out as a unique character. Although this is unlikely, I can still have some hope. The point of this video is to say that these companies make so much money. They should be doing their utmost effort to bring the best product to the market. It's baffling that they take shortcuts, displaying static images and the same expression over and over and over again. It feels a boring game with no innovation. Wuthering Waves is not a much better
this trailer was
new
crazy.
era of gaming. However, this doesn't mean that their competitors should take these shortcuts. I understand why. They're making money either way, and as long as they're making money, nothing else matters, right? At least I know with Kuro Games, we will be able to get the best that the game has to offer, despite the money that they're making. Keep in mind, they're probably...
True, but they're also, let's not forget, they are incentivized to make the best game possible because they want new players, right? And they want to retain the player base that they have. So I feel they are incentivized more to keep pumping out way higher content and way higher quality content because they do have competition and they are on the back foot compared to the others. Let's be honest, they're still on the back foot compared to Genshin, right? In terms of like player base, you know? It might be the better game, but it doesn't have the same kind of player base. So they're always going to have to prove themselves. It's kind of unfortunate. WoW is always in a position where it has to prove itself why it's worthwhile to be quote unquote better than Genshin.
Only making a fraction of what these other devs are making. Not that it really matters, because at the end of the day, I'll play the game that I find most appealing. And I find Chun-Li's assets most appealing. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more animatic content. I have a ton of stuff coming your way, so stay tuned.
Honestly, you know what? Void Enigma has started to become one of my favorite wuwa content creators. Can I be honest? He's actually started to become one of my favorite wuwa content creators. I like the videos that they put out. I do. I always watch them. I do enjoy the videos they put out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on his video, okay? Make sure to go grab them. And also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video too. And I go live every single day on Twitch. Twitch.tv, Cabinetz. Okay, link is in the pinned comment. Come say hi. We're very nice here, okay? We're very, very nice. I appreciate y'all. Go goon over your favorite wuwa model right now. That is an order, okay? If you don't, you lose 2 inches on your peepees, okay? I appreciate y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.